Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're here to take a look at Enemy Territory Quake Wars. So what is this game? Well, it's the third of the Quake 2 continuity games. This came out during a very weird time in gaming. This was around 2007 that this game came out. It was definitely inspired by the extremely popular Battlefield series of games. Most notably Battlefield, I think 2142. All those games have kind of been forgotten over the years. This game also has been completely forgotten as well. So what we got here is just a Battlefield, I think Battlefield 2 knockoff. Now when I got this game, I was like, oh, it's another Quake game, it's gonna be great. And it is. This is not a bad game, but it's not good either. I don't really know how to like review this game. On the one hand, it's fun, but at the same time, it's not a real game. All it is just a multiplayer only game with bots. That's it. And it's kind of weird. This is back in the days when like multiplayer only games pretended to be real games to a certain extent. And also like if you played it with bots, the bots talk to you, which is also kind of weird. Like you'll hear the bots say like hi and shit like that. Like completely different from real life where it's nothing but racial slurs all the way down. Let's see, and I don't know when Quake 6 is going to be out, probably never. Let's see, Neji, birthday's February the 2nd. Hopefully you're not getting too old. So, what you do here is you just complete objectives. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it works. Fuck you, hold your fire. Don't say hello to me, you asshole. You got different classes. The AI is actually pretty good, and this is perfectly viable single player. But what this is a prequel to Quake 2. This is the Strong Invasion. And my only problem is, like, okay, did we really need a Battlefield knockoff in the Quake franchise? Like, that's not the first thing I would think of when it comes to Quake, you know? It's like more of like a real game with a story. And like, the actual, like, bots, they can hit you pretty well if you play it on a higher difficulty. We got easy weapon skill with normal tactical skill. I always like it when they say like, why thank you. It's like, really, do we need like sarcastic bots? No wonder Skynet wants to kill us. But yeah, I played this all the time back around 2008 or so, because I was a big fan of like Star Wars Battlefront. And so this is a game that can be a really great time sink, but I'm still just not sure if I would call this a real game or not. Okay, let's actually go into here and become a, oh, we do want to actually blow something up. I forgot what class we even were. Field knockoff and the publishers forced to Quake IP? They might. They might. Yeah, there's no way I'd play this expert just because I'm not that invested in the game. And yeah, there is a console port for this game on the 360 and the PS3. As near as I can tell, the only real difference between the PC version and the others, also, the flight controls for this are shit. Like, absolute crap. Like, you're trying to fly the Bumblebee here, and like, you can barely control this bloody thing. Like, at all. So, like, the, PS3 and Xbox 360 versions, whenever you play this, play with a, vehicle in third person, you actually get a reticle. Whereas you don't with the PC version, and there's also a new cutscene, intro cutscene, for the game as well. That's actually also better than the PC version. PC version is still playable enough. This game is completely delisted, so it's abandonware. So you can get this off of archive.org, which is totally what I didn't do. I totally dug the disc out of my storage room. Totally did it. They still play it online. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you'd want to bother trying to emulate this game, but I'm surprised people still play it. I'm so dying here because I'm not really paying that close. Like, there's no way to actually fly these fucking aircraft. I'm sure, like, if you played the game, like, for years, which I guess I kind of did, but never cared that much. Still, though, I would have much preferred this having an actual plot with characters. And like I said, there's still kind of a plot. You're basically fighting off the Strong Invasion of Earth. But this is still just really a multiplayer-focused game. Probably one of the better ones, though. But I still wouldn't really rate this as high as, say, like a Battlefield, or a Battlefront, I should say. Extra level. Yeah, because Quake 4 ends on a complete and total cliffhanger, which is annoying, and then this game came out. What's kind of funny is for the longest time, I didn't even like Quake 4. I'm not really sure why. It's like, it was a perfectly good game. I thought it was too modern, I think. How little I knew in 2007. So this is one of the first games that I got from my then new gaming PC. Because I built a gaming PC in 2008, finally had the money to do it. I could play all these games in like, you know, 1080. I don't think I played it in 1080. I think I played this in some kind of weird kind of HD screen resolution. So yeah, you can get revived by medics, but half the time it's not worth the wait. I was very lucky right there because he was actually there. Half the time the bots don't even listen to you. That's one thing I loved about Battlefront. It's like you could get the bots to do what you wanted to do. And I don't know why they don't do anything with the Quake IP. I mean, they did that Quake Champions game, which was an adequate, I guess, game. I mean, I played it a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know why they don't do anything with this. I mean, oh yeah, did anybody get the data disc? Did anybody do anything? Okay, yeah, one of them died. This is sort of like a capture the flag-ish kind of thing. Yeah, it's all the way up there. If a Strog gets it... And we do know that Strog is pronounced Strog because you actually hear the name Strog now and again when you play the game. Story of Quake 4. I don't know what the actual story behind the development of Quake 4 is. I mean, I'm glad it was made, but Quake 2 got the name Quake because id Software couldn't think of a better name. And Quake 2 has nothing to do at all with Quake 1. Uh-oh. We got a bot trying to shoot at us. And these bots can actually be kind of dangerous. I just never was a big fan of multiplayer games in general. Because, like, you have to try, and it's like, I don't want to try. That's boring. Come on, get in the boat. Get in the boat. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Quake, it's such a... It's kind of a sad franchise, because it's got an interesting plot. I mean, the whole idea of... You know, Earth trying to fight off, you know, like a much more advanced species. You can do a lot with that. I mean, humanity right now has some pretty good technology. But, like, the Strog, they have the high orbitals and everything. Evidently there was a leak of the Elder Scrolls 4 remake. I don't know if we really need one. Just because, you know, we can modify the original pretty easily now. Okay, I think we actually need to go back here. But I'm glad to see that it's still getting some love. I think people kind of sleep on Elder Scrolls 4 now. And I still like Oblivion a bit more than Skyrim, just because it's a little more complex in places. Okay, here we go. We'll play as the Strog in a minute. Like, the Strog have some of the iconic Quake weapons, such as the nail gun. It's like, easy kill tonight. Screw you, machine. I like how all the bots are just kind of clustered over there. You know, could any of you maybe help me? Like, actually, you know, help me complete the objective? It's like real life.
You're welcome. I'm in design.
Considering that modern gaming is so crap, I don't think I'd want to see a modern-day Quake. Ninja Gaiden's gonna have new games, huh? I mean, like, for me, it's like, I never cared about the Ninja Gaiden franchise, so it doesn't really mean much for me.
Sorry.
I just never really got into those. I tried to play Ninja Gaiden 2 for the 360 and found it to be 100% adequate. Now, when it comes to a game like this, though, this is something you can kind of just turn your brain off in. Also, this runs on Steam Deck. I actually tried that last week, and it runs, and it's actually pretty fun on the Steam Deck, too. I mean, this is just a nice, simple, uncomplicated game. Still would like for this to have been a real game with, you know, characters, levels, cinematics, you know, all that sort of thing with actual gaminess instead of, well, multiplayer. I mean, and multiplayer games do die a quick death. Run! Get in there! Oh, crap! And the bots are actually remarkably not stupid. Like, they're pretty good. And I killed my... No, I did not kill myself this time. We did not go Kurt Cobain. Hey, screw you. You stole my XP. I should totally shoot him. Mass Effect is supposed to be getting a new game. I mean, Yeah, we'll see. With things like Sweet Baby and all the rest, you know, it's like, I know they're kind of out of business now, but like, is it going to be any good? I mean, it's just, until we actually get some halfway adequate developers, we're just going to be kind of screwed for the moment, I think. As you can see, like, even on normal, these guys are pretty tough. This is, in theory, running on the Doom 3 engine. Because I think they got a lot of mileage out of that for these id Software-ish games. We don't want the strong to turn the population into mindless zombies. This is in California, so I think they're a bit too late. I think they're about 100 years too late, because, yeah. Alright, so as the engineer class, you can build shit. Alright, let's jump in the tank, because the tank's actually useful. See, the bots aren't stupid, but they don't really do combined arms tactics or anything. Let's see. EA has always been the great demon. Now, like, Night Dive has really been very good. Good guy Night Dive has been really making gaming still viable, but it's still just bringing back old games instead of creating anything new, and then, like, indie games still leave a lot to be desired. Especially when compared to even the budget releases of, like, 20 years ago. Okay, let's build the bridge. Now, like, as we all know, in real life, when you want to build a bridge, you literally just walk up and hit F. Oh, wait, we're not even in the game. Okay, this is something that really kind of confused me back in the day. When you boot into a level, you're not actually in the game. You're in some kind of warm-up period or something. And then to actually play the game, you have to, like, ready up. It's like, Yeah, at least this game still works. There's a lot of games from around this era that just straight up don't, without some kind of modification. False Dawn. I don't even know what that is. I have no clue. I do know one fan production that looks pretty good is a new Halo mod with 4 new levels, which looks pretty good. An extended game from Quake 4. I've never even heard of that. I'll have to look that up. I've not been keeping abreast of all the mods just because there's too much crap. Okay, let's go ahead and die immediately. Let's go ahead and die in 5 seconds. So like I said, even with bots, these guys aren't that bad. And this is a really nice and chaotic kind of game, like with a lot of emergent gameplay. Because, like, there's all kinds of crap. Like, the enemy is always firing off artillery shells. You know, they're actually on the move. One of the big problems with bots and games of this sort is oftentimes the bots don't even do anything. It's one of the reasons why I didn't really care for Battlefield 2 or Battlefield 2142. It's just, unless you played that multiplayer, it really wasn't worth playing. Okay, let's build it. Let's just, randomly use pliers at a generator. Totally makes sense.
Enemy infantry spotted.
False Dawn. Okay, I'll have to look that up because I didn't know there was any Quake 4 mods at all. I thought most people forgot about it. Okay, we're not going to bother constructing a guard tower because that's utterly pointless. Hey, I thought I constructed the bridge. I thought it was constructed. Did somebody, like, blow it up or something?
You're welcome. We're building the bridge.
Okay, let's just... See, the bot knows how to go prone. I forget how to go prone. Oh, yeah, SHOT Show! There's a lot of stuff that happened at SHOT Show this year. Most notably, we're gonna get some Daewoo K2s! And all my non-gun fans are gonna be like, what the fuck's a Daewoo K2? It's a rifle that is like a combination of AR-15 and AK-47. It's awesome. They came in back in the 1980s, but thanks to, shall we say, a horrible presidential personage, they were barred from importation. But they're supposed to be really awesome rifles, and I can't wait to get me one. Okay, where do we, oh, there it is. It's right out in front of everything. So that guy can shoot me in the face with his plasma rifle. Yep, there he did it. But yeah, the Daewoo K2 looks pretty good. A lot of the stuff that PSA is bringing out looks pretty good as well. Okay, so what this Strog is doing is turning me into some kind of like a... Oh, yeah, that's one of the spy equivalent. Yeah, he can basically look like me and shift people in the back. pretty clever, but I think also Team Fortress 2 did that. The Borg are the strong. The Borg are a lot more... Oh, let me put it this way. If the Borg invaded during the late 20th century, or 21st century, they would win immediately. The Strog are technologically inferior and also just not as smart. Because why are they not just, you know, like, pounding everything from orbit right now? Yeah, SHOT Show has shown a lot of cool stuff. Like, PSA is bringing in an awesome PD dub. PSA also showed off a semi-auto shotgun, which looks pretty nice. That's sort of a hybrid pump action and semi-auto, kind of like the Spaz. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's the thing about coming out with new guns these days. It's just everything's been done before. Now, if only that could blow up, but sadly it is not. Getting a bot to actually get on a gun is not easy either. Let's see, what class am I? Okay, I need to change that. Okay, let's go to Dude Bro for right now. Because eventually we're going to need to be able to fight our way into there's like a water treatment plant. We got to make sure the Strog don't turn the Californians into even more zombies than they already are. You see, the bots aren't acting too stupid right now. Well, I am, because I got immediately eradicated by a tank. Yeah, I recently finished a book where, like, some evil space British invaded America in, like, now. There was no Joe Biden, but there was a character that might as well have been Bo Biden. Oh wait, Bo Biden's a real person that Joe Biden would never shut up about. It's Joe Biden with the serial numbers filed off. The only thing is, though, there was not a Kamala equivalent. Instead, his vice president was actually competent. It was a good book. It showed that, like, plasma rifles are very, very dangerous. Really? Got blasted again. STG-44 project was canceled. Yeah, the STG-44 is a very difficult project because you're trying to resurrect a gun that was complicated to make in the first place. So I'm not surprised they canned that. Yeah, Bo Jiden, there you go. It was basically, long story short, Bo Jiden decided to try to surrender to the evil space British, but ended up getting blasted by the evil space British so that the much more competent vice president could actually do something. Unfortunately, that book ended on a cliffhanger because the writer wants to make a lot of money. Which annoys me, because I don't know how humanity could actually, or how 21st century Earth could actually fight him, because, well, 21st century Earth is kind of hosed, mainly because, like, not only did the evil space British have, like, plasma rifles and, like, hovercraft with, like, anti-gravity and shit, they also were able to completely destroy the internet, which I think is basically just a win the game button. Like, the internet is effectively gone, all, like, the bank accounts are gone and everything. Now, that's just awesome. Seeing, like, a enemy artillery just dropped right on there, that's really fucking cool. And not a lot of games were able to do stuff like this. So that's one of the things I was always very impressed about. It's just so chaotic. Okay, there's an anti-vehicle turret. Yep, he's right there. And see, like, those AVTs are no joke. Let's just do some indirect fire. And try to take it out that way. Because we're in a pretty good position to do that. Now, it'd be nice if my bot allies were actually, you know, not stupid. But that's a little too much to ask. The book is called Conquistadors by Christopher Nuttall. These are just bots. I now know it's actually played online. I thought nobody played this anymore. But we're just doing bots. Bots aren't bad. Come on. No, if I get too close, he's going to blast me. I don't think the indirect fire thing's working. It's taking too long. And I don't feel like getting beeped at.
MCP disabled. Repeat. Friendly fire incoming.
Oh, crap. I love how they call an airstrike right on top of my head. But yeah, the evil space British blow up the internet. And they also use a tactic that I bet's going to happen at some point, where they use when they hack into the internet, they start putting out fake information like deep fakes and shit, And since they've got superior technology, the deepfakes actually look real. And so they get a bunch of politicians arrested on false charges. It's a pretty scary thing that once again, I'm afraid is probably going to be real life at some point. The book was basically written with like the Ukraine war in mind, so there's a lot of drones and shit. The 590R and the 590RM, I mean, it's a pump-action mag-fed shotgun, which I guess is cool, but for me, I consider like any sort of pump-action shotgun to essentially be a bit obsolete. Just because, you know, we've got semi-auto shotguns that work, so why would you go back to older technology? It just doesn't seem like it's that worth it to me. I also started reading a book that is by the same writer, Christopher Nuttall, who also his really, did I blow myself up again? Yep, I did. I hate it when games do that. But Nuttall also wrote a book that is clearly meant to capitalize on the current unpleasantness in the Middle East, because where it's not exactly a one-for-one sort of thing with that Gaza insanity, but it might as well be. It's set in the future. Humanity has a bunch of colonies, and there's this colony where a bunch of evil corpos bring in, you know, some like foreign workers and displace part of the native planet's population. Well, the corporation eventually leaves, and then like the native population now wants to massacre the off-world humans, and so it's like, I don't know, that sounds an awful lot like real life. It's pretty well written. I've not actually finished it yet, but it kind of shows both sides and things of that nature. And it's not overly political. Like, if you didn't know what was going on in the real world, or if you read it, like, say, 10 years from now, it would still be a good book. Which is one of the reasons why I like that writer. Really, did I blow myself up again? Am I that incompetent? Let's see. If you slam fire a pump action, is it similar to semi-auto? No, it's much harder to aim when you slam fire. Slam fire is one of those things that is cool, provided you don't actually know how terrible it is. It's not really useful. Okay, we're gonna just go here and go to GPMNG and try not to and stop using that goddamn rocket launcher. Also, Happy Goon. I don't think in 2007 Goon meant quite the same thing it does today. Although I wonder, like, why does Goon mean what it means today? Like, where did that come from? Like, who started that? I want to know. But Christopher Nuttall's been around a long time. A lot of his books kind of like take the politics of the day and like do the Star Trek thing, where Indian conscription thanks to the normies. What are they doing? I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, I know the normies don't know what end-to-end encryption even is. I can see the government trying to get rid of that so that they can make sure that they know what's going on, right? It's the evil space British! Well, see, Goon essentially means... Well, Captain Jerk, oh dear. A Goon is essentially a, well... Exactly. You know, I was out driving today, trying to find a new interview suit, and I was not successful in that. But I literally saw a vanity license plate that said Coomer. And I'm like, who paid the money for that? And why? But whatever. Finding an interview suit, not easy. Because, like, all these stores have shut down. It's like, you don't want to buy an interview suit, spend that kind of money, and not know if it fits or not. Yeah, pretty much. So I kind of got back into roller skating, or roller. Well, I used to rollerblade, but actually use roller skates. If y'all have never actually roller skated or bladed, I highly recommend it. It is really bloody fun. It's one of those things that I was like the only adult there, but I didn't care. It's just one of those activities that actually is, you know, it's cheap. You're kind of going around in a circle, but you gotta actually have good balance, and it's just, it was much more fun than I thought it was. Dr. Coomer's one, oh my god, what was he doing? He was fapping the OnlyFans, and well, that's what caused the resonance cascade. God damn it. Grinning hillbilly. I want to know who came up with these names. Quake 3 had stuff like this, where like the bots would talk to you. No, what I used was just the, you know, I just rented their roller blades because I haven't had inline skates since I was 15. Now that was a good birthday because my 15th birthday I got some kick-ass inline roller blades, and I forget what else I got that year. I know it's something good though. I think it was like a video game or something that I'd really been waiting for. Let's see, I was 15, and I think in 2004... Was that Battlefront? Did Battlefront come out in 2004? Or was that 2003? I know I got a kick-ass video game that birthday too, but I can't remember what it was. It'd say, at least one suit. Too bad. Yeah, suits are not cheap, and, you know, you never want to buy the first one you see. AR-15 shotguns. Oh, rollerblades, not bad. AR-15 shotguns. It's one of those things you got to be careful who you which model you get. Oh yeah, we're still trying to get the MCP there because the bots can't do it because they keep dying because there's that anti-vehicle turret right there, and it just keeps taking them out. Oh, it's disabled. God damn it. It's differently abled. That's what it is. AR-15 shotguns. A lot of them are made on the cheap, so they're not that great. Honestly, if you're gonna get a semi-auto shotgun, my recommendation is always just maybe get like a Mossberg semi-auto shotgun, something like it. If you can find a Saiga, although those things are ridiculously expensive now. It's one of those things where, okay, that's still broken because we apparently don't have a bot that's smart enough to fix it. Oh crap! This is a really good game. I gotta tell you, like I know it's not a real game, but at the same time, this is really good. Like, it is very... The bots are smart enough to do shit. I still much prefer Battlefront. Battlefield, Battlefront, whatever. But man, this is better than I remember. Browning Auto 5. Browning Auto 5's, I mean, it's not bad, but... The big problem with like something like a Browning is just the fact that it's going to be difficult to maintain. You get very limited shell capacity. If you want a semi-auto shotgun, just get one of those Mossbergs that are all ready, you know, semi-auto. Okay, let's see if we can like charge over here and just plant a fucking thing here. And you got to wait for this thing to actually work. So you can't die. But just, to me, like, a shotgun is... Unless you're actually, like, bird hunting, it's not really that useful. I mean, rifles just work a lot better, and, yep. Like, kind of like, MCP repaired, and it immediately is destroyed 5 seconds later. The big problem with mag-fed shotguns is it's got a rimmed cartridge. Rimmed for your pleasure, indeed. And so those don't feed well in box mags. So, yeah, that's why it took so long. And also, there just wasn't much of a need for it. Like, the tactical concept is a very modern one. Nobody really cared that much about, like, a tactical shotgun, man. People just use shotguns for, you know, hunting and stuff like that. So there was no need for that. And yeah, drones are a thing that's going to bring shotguns back. I think shotguns are going to go through an evolution, probably with different shell types. Really? They built that thing back? What assholes? And we're not even close to finishing this goddamn map. That's why you don't want the timer on, because unless you're actually, you know, good, and that can get old fast. But yeah, there was no real need for like a tactical shotgun. I mean, like, yeah, there were like pump guns used in very specific areas, but no one really cared that much about them because they're not that, outside of like drone defense, they're not that useful. They're limited in range, capacity. You can carry a shitload of 5.56 versus 12 gauge shotty shells. Oh crap, where is that coming down? Now that's awesome. This is a game from 2007. What modern game has that? It's falling right on my head, isn't it? Yep, I'm dead. Bye-bye. Make shotguns with interchangeable tubes. Just no real need. No one, that was something that no one was asking for because no one needed it. If all you could do was go hunt some birds, why would you need to even reload rapidly? And a lot of people were just rocking single shots because they didn't need it. The thing about needing anything like that is that's a modern day tactical thing, and people just weren't interested in that. People wanted more capacity to a certain extent, but it just wasn't really that necessary. And I think what we'll probably see with drone defense is they might use like mini shells so you can carry a lot of them. But okay, we need to actually be an engineer and we need to actually do something about that goddamn MCP because evidently the bots are too stupid to actually get it to where it needs to go. It's like, it's almost like playing with real people. Oh crap, I got really? Got fucking shivved by an asshole? That sounds about right. So yeah, it's like shotguns, useful, but only in limited circumstances, and are not necessarily obsolete, but they never really were that needed in the first place. Like I can just blow that thing up with a rifle. Shotguns for home defense, yeah, they do have a purpose, but once again, you're not going to need like this, you know, drum mag fed shotgun, because like you're going after maybe 1 to 3 assailants and that's it. And oh yeah, the chuk is not really going to scare people off anymore. I mean, it's not it's not, you know, 1982 anymore. No one cares. Let's see, can I do anything to this turret? No, I cannot. Okay. And until somebody blows up that turret, and nobody is, I can fix this all day long and it's not going to do any good. Shotguns are okay in CQB, but not really. Yeah, because it's going to disable it the second I fix it. I mean, I guess I could go ahead and just get all the points for doing this. Is this totally broken here? I'm sure this was patched out, but this is like an unpatched version of the game. Just get all the ranks. And I do, okay, so I got a grenade launcher, so that helps. So, you know, like with any game like this, the better you do, Butcher's Creek. I don't know if is that a map in this game or something? Because I don't recognize it. Okay, how do you use the grenade launcher in this? I don't even remember. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this. Which is always scary to think that the time between me playing this game today is probably greater than the time I played, say, Quake 2 in this game. It's like time just... A new Condemned-like game, eh? Hopefully it doesn't have too much indie jank to it. Because Condemned was pretty bloody good. One of the videos I'm working on is a early 2000s nostalgia fest where I like review 40 games. And yeah, drone warfare is now a thing. But outside of that, nobody would have really cared. Okay, that was an entirely pointless thing I just did. Oh, from the dust guy. Okay. Okay, let's... AR-15 with a binary trigger. No. The thing is, full auto and stuff like that really just isn't useful. Okay, that's how we can grenade launch. Let's see if we can take that... I don't know why I just got off the fucking four-wheeler here. Or the quad bike. Like, full auto and stuff like that really isn't as useful. Like, if you're trying to hold off a horde of charging, you know, Strogg, okay, then full auto might be useful. But in a home defense thing, what you want to do... Okay, get off there. Get off there! Like, in a home defense scenario, you want to be extremely accurate. You don't really want... you don't really want to just be spraying and praying. Go! It's 2 damage to move. Brilliant. Come on, fix it. Go! Really, it's still 2 damage to move? Okay, go, 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 go! Drive! Somebody could have taken out that tank! But you people are too stupid! How do you bots plan to take over the world? I mean, come on. If you can't even beat a simple game from 2007... 3-shot burst was a thing. Well, the three-shot burst was mainly because people couldn't hit anything or didn't get any proper training in full auto. Bump stocks, no. FRTs, meh. I mean, once again, these ways to get around the NFA just aren't going to really be that important. Because once again, being able to hit the target is a lot better than, you know, spraying in the general direction. I mean, okay, go, go, go! Finally, god damn! Because now we got to go hack the shield generator. Really, again? Well, I mean that worked. And once again, that's why I love this game. It's like just a giant ass missile just came down there. Like it's such a fun, chaotic game. Really, and I immediately died. But once again, I love it because I got blown up by an enemy aircraft, which is just so cool. But no, full auto just isn't as useful as people think it is. We can't have it, so, you know, we want it, but in reality, it's not useful in the slightest. Unless you're trying to fight back a horde of charging, you know, psychopaths. And that just seems very unlikely to me. Because, you know, the United States may not be perfect right now, but we're not trying to fight off hordes of psychopaths. I mean, we got a Cheeto that's trying to solve some of those issues. So, now we really don't have to worry about that. For now, at least. But that's the thing, you know, full auto sounds great, but all it does is just kind of waste ammunition. Well, that's the thing. Pretty much anything you use, it's going to put a hole in the wall, but 5.56 is very bad at barrier penetration, which is good for home defense, not so much for, you know, like, trying to get through, like, light armor plate and stuff like that. So, it's one of those things where, depending on the cartridge you use, 5.56 can actually not over-penetrate like a lot of other cartridges. Ironically, 7.62 by 3.9, despite having really bad ballistics trajectory, kind of a rainbow, it's very good at barrier penetration, whereas 5.56 has better accuracy overall, but is bad at it. It's all a trade-off, really. Honestly, for home defense, what you probably want more than anything is something like just a PCC or just a pistol that with a red dot, something like that, you know. AR-15s work, or like a shorty AR-15, which is going to reduce the muzzle velocity a little bit, you know, something like that. But there's a good chance you're going to over-penetrate anyway. It's just something you got to keep in mind. You kind of got to know what's on the other side of the target. Just got to be careful, you know. You can't just be spraying and praying. Even if it's like 5 in the morning and you are buck-ass naked with a rifle. You just gotta be smarter than, oh crap, this was a very bad idea. And it was a bad idea. See, the bots are smart enough. They know to put a anti-personnel turret right there. An Oregon gun. And I got shot in the back by an asshole. Yeah, so recently watched a video on that guy with the glasses, Kick-Assia. Oh my god. That movie is even worse than I had remembered. I actually never sat through Kick-Assia. That was from a very special time of the internet where you could kind of get away with something that bad. I mean, Kick-Assia is... When YouTubers try to make movies, oftentimes they don't do a very good job of it. I'm not sure why. If they know what a bad movie looks like, you would think you would know what a good movie looks like. It's just... A lot of the decisions that Dog Walker came up with just really perplex me. I don't really know, like... He's not stupid. You think he would have done a little better than that. The clip fed 5.7. I'll wait for the 9mm version. Just because, like, yeah, 5.7 is a great cartridge, provided you don't have to pay for it. It's one of those things where, like, that was originally designed to go through body armor, which is not really that big of a concern for just a regular person. The ammo is fairly expensive. The ballistics are dubious at best. You know, it's basically like a .22 Magnum almost. So, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of 5.7. Just because it's a cool thing. I'm not sure it's really a useful thing. Now that Keltec is going to have a purpose for, like, say, you know, Colorado, California, places like that. But if you can get anything better, you'd want it. And once again, it's not bad. It's just, it's not really that necessary. It's sort of like, there's now going to be a conversion kit. There's going to be a conversion kit for the BRN 180 where you can turn it into a EM2. Not an EM2, turn it into a facsimile of the... Sweet, we won. Turn it into a facsimile of, like, the British service rifle. Okay, we'll actually play as the Strogue. You don't want a clip-fed gun for mag fun? Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you want that? The theory is that, like, you'd want it because it's really thin, I guess? Maybe? We got the Icarus, which was a, let's see, left shift to... Oh yeah, we gotta ready up. We gotta ready up on the server, right? Back in the multiplayer days, I just muted all. Cause I didn't give a fuck what all those people had to say. ST Gepard AK-9? Huh. Neat. I'm just excited for the Earth seconds, eh? I'm just looking forward to the K2. It's gonna be awesome. So, like, the Strogg are kind of like the Borg in a way. Like, they'll literally repurpose all human flesh to create new soldiers. In a way, it's almost kind of like the Imperium of Man, because they have, like, combat servitors and shit like that. It's a pretty... They're basically like the Borg, but like diesel punk almost. They're biopunk Borg. And with a little bit of 40k thrown in. Nobody really knows, like, if the Strogg are actually intelligent or they're, like, following some kind of computer program. And it's a mystery that will never be solved. We needed some, like, Quake books. Like, there was a lot of storytelling potential there. Blast him. And Quake is always, like, the most unsung universe ever. Because there's so much more they could have done with it. Now, I think, like, when you fight the GDF, they're actually a little easier to kill. And I'm not really sure why. Yeah, well, those Doge Walker films aren't that great. There are full-on robots in 40k, but they're basically, had their brains removed and replaced with, like... Well, they had their robo-brains removed and replaced with actual brains. Because, like, you can't have, like, a full-on computer in 40k. It has to have actual, like, brain tissue. Usually it's just, like, animals and shit. But there's also, like, human brains used. There's a recent Warhammer crime book where they have, like, a servitor plant. And, like, the book knows it's really nasty. Because they have, like, these chutes that they, like, drop humans down into be, like, mulched into, like, servitor parts. 40k is a pretty hardcore universe. Now, if you never played Quake 4, you got to, because there's the Stroggification process. The K2s are going to be newly manufactured. They're going to get their American components. So for those who don't know, there's this thing called, like, 922R compliance, where, like, any kind of foreign gun you bring in has to have X number of components made in America for some reason. Because, government. And so, if they bring in the K2s, or when they do, they're gonna just have to replace, like, the trigger with, like, something made in America for some reason. It's bullshit, but, you know, it's what it is. It's just one of those things that, like, the federal government thought was a great idea. Great idea, TM. AI War in 40k. Yeah, there was. It was called the, was it the War of Iron? I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, there was a big AI war that actually led to the 40k universe. Like 30,000 years, no, 5,000 years before 40k, no, 15,000 years before 40k takes place. There was a big AI war where the Men of Iron rebelled against humanity and almost wiped it out. And today was a very good day. Liquid Diet went skating and had a fuckload of fun. Actually reminds me, skating was a big deal in my life back when I was a teenager. Like, I did it all the bloody time. I was a member of the marching band in my teenage years. Played the sousaphone, which is like a tuba that you wear. And the band had like this big skate night at the local skate park. And that was a lot of bloody fun. I really fucking love that sport. I've been out of it for like over a decade, but it was really fun. I think the 40k AI war is based upon the Butlerian Jihad. Because 40k and Dune have a lot in common. I like 40k more than Dune, though. And yeah, the skating rink I went to today had drinks, snacks, and shit like that. And they had like a very basic arcade with the modern day equivalent of the Jurassic Park arcade game. But yeah, back when I was a teenager though, the skate park, I don't think had any of that. It was just basic skating. But it was a lot of fun, that little band night. Sadly, that skate park has long since been turned into a fire station of all things. It went out of business, and now it's where the local fire department trains. Yeah, 40k and Dune have a lot of cross-pollination. But, because, like, the Emperor in Dune is, you know, a God Emperor, and, you know, and in 40k you've got the God Emperor. Although in Dune, the God Emperor is like a human worm hybrid. Because, yeah, that's just kind of how they did it back then. Okay, we need to be an engineer or a constructor. We'll get a nail gun, which is basically just a shotgun. Although, now is that it? Okay, yeah. Dude, you're really exposed and probably shouldn't just be standing up there, like, shooting at us with a rifle. That's not a good idea. He probably did, like, the ayahuasca. Man, ayahuasca is a hell of a drug. Because there's a YouTuber that went nuts because he used a lot of that shit. Said he jerked off to Thor or something. No! He said that Thor talked to him and said that, like, if he, like, jerked off to, like, somebody, he'd get, like, magical powers or something. It was weird. It was very weird. Very strange. Yeah, that nobody cares about Star Wars anymore. People still care about Star Wars to a point. I mean, like, old school fans like myself still do, but, like, anything modern, like that Goonies in Space thing that came out recently, yeah, nobody's gonna give a fuck about that. It's garbage. People have been fed a line of shit for the last decade. Nobody's gonna care. But fan work still exists. There's an AI thing called Skywalker Stories on YouTube, where they use, like, AI voices to, like, have different characters talk to each other. It's pretty good. They got one where, like, Qui-Gon is talking to Darth Vader. So, and yeah, Star Wars pre-Disney is the only Star Wars. God, build it! If you build it, they will come. The problem with Disney Star Wars is they had some adequate... Actually, they didn't really have any adequate ideas. They had good costume design, though. That might sound stupid, but that's the one good thing they got. You know? They got the costumes right. Like, the Mandalorian is a great design. The Sith Trooper looks great. The First Order Stormtrooper looks great. Everything else is terrible. Even the ship design is terrible. Like, the Razor Crest really doesn't look very good. Not in my opinion, at least. That new Star Destroyer just looks like, it's like a wedge-shaped mess. But man, did they get those costumes looking good, though. I mean, that Mando suit looks good. But that's about it. It's like, if you can't think of anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, that's the nicest you're gonna get from me. Daisy Ridley was pretty hot, though. I mean, she looks pretty cute as Rey, but her character was nothing. You know, they've been saying that Kathleen Kennedy's gonna be, her time is up. Every couple of years, it's like, Kathleen Kennedy is not gonna get her contract renewed. It's like, and it gets renewed. At this point, I don't think there's gonna be, you know, anybody that's gonna come in and shake things up, sadly. it's just going to be dead for the next decade again, and then finally, when it's devalued, maybe George Lucas will buy it again. I mean, that happened with Power Rangers. X-Wing and Y-Wing. Oh my god, I could see that happening. You say that as a joke, I bet that happens at some point. But Power Rangers was sold by Chaim Saban to Disney. Disney ran it into the ground, and Chaim Saban bought it back. So maybe that'll happen. Bought it back for cheaper, too. That guy is pretty smart, but didn't ever pay his talent, though. There's a video where the original Red and Black Rangers were talking about how, like, they got screwed out of, like, all this money. Like, for the movie, the Power Rangers, the first movie, they were only going to get paid $20,000. And that's it for doing a movie, for doing a feature. And, like, they were paid, like, $700 per episode. And, like, Chaim Saban was making, like, $1 billion back in the 90s because of how popular Power Rangers was. That is bullshit. And I sincerely hope Canada does not become the 51st state. You know, that was some... I'll tell you this. Cheeto Man really still needs to learn to keep his mouth shut. Because I'm sure he said that trying to be funny. But unfortunately, we live in a world where people are stupid and they took him seriously. It's the same way with, like, buying Greenland? Maybe. That's a big maybe. I don't think that's actually going to be a thing. You know, but Canada, no. Canada is a country. With an actual history. Okay, that nail gun is shit. I'm going to get back to use the lacerator. But, like, Canada's an actual country with a history, a national myth, actual nationalism that does exist. And so, why would they want to be subsumed by another country? It just wouldn't work. Not only that, but, like, they don't really have... They have some similar values to the United States, but they're not identical. So, the people there would not be really happier living in the United States. Yeah, the Castro, you know, kind of really messed them up, but they don't want to leave their country. That's the thing. They don't want to be part of something else. Really? God damn it. Damn you, Winslow. Damn you and all your ones and zeros. It's just that...
We're constructing the mining laser.
Yep. You know, they can't call it Slave One, even though nobody had a problem with that, you know. Boba Fett starship.
We constructed our mining laser.
And yeah, Greenland does have its own culture as well. The Panama Canal thing, I think, is a little more on the edge, on the fence there. Just because, I think, well, speaking of China, it's like, evidently China does own... God damn it, man, I just keep dying every 5 seconds. This game is not easy. I think China does own a good chunk of the Panama Canal now, or at least the companies that service it do. So that is a little concerning, to say the least. So, but yeah, but Canada is not going to be the 51st state. It just seems unlikely. Yeah, people go nuts about Orange Man. You know, it's one of those things where it's very much a rules for thee but not for me sort of thing. When people complained about, you know, a certain president back when this game came out, and we all know who he is, they're like, oh, you're evil for not liking him. And it's like, well, but I don't agree with his policies. Well, that's also evil. You know, it's like, the fact is, Orange Man is not going to be nearly as bad as people think he is. He's just going to be a president. That's it. The sad part is, like, social media kind of accelerated the whole political insanity. So now everything that a president does is like the evilest thing ever, so... I don't know. Everything's kind of cooked at the moment, as they say. When in reality, politics are going to happen the way they happen. I think things are going to get slightly better to a certain extent, but, you know... Yeah, TikTok didn't get banned. Now, that's one of those things where that became very much a talking point with certain talking heads about doing away with TikTok. From what I read into that, doing away with that would have been a bad thing for First Amendment concerns. I mean, it's not all blue-haired weirdos, and it actually is a way to kind of make an in-run around government censorship. And evidently, it is not run by China. I'd always thought that it was, but it actually wasn't. It's run by, I think... a company that does have ties to China, but the vast majority of it isn't actually in China. Yeah, this game is underrated. And hello, Riley. So, like, TikTok, I don't think is nearly as bad as it's been presented. But still, though, I don't think the government should be able to ban a social media platform. I mean, yeah, you know, you got woke mind virus, but if they can ban one, they can ban them all. And so, it's a bad idea for that alone. Because government doesn't stop taking power, it just takes more and more. I mean, just look at the early 20th century. Just saying. Just saying there. So, TikTok, you know, I've never actually used it because I don't like short-form content. Well, the thing is, the First Amendment should apply to brain rot because we don't know... The thing about it, that sounds great in theory. The First Amendment should apply to brain rot, but think about it. What's brain rot? Can the Macron be pleased? Isn't he like a computer program? But no, brain rot, the First Amendment should apply to that because we can't say what brain rot is. I mean, to a certain extent, we know what it is, but you could easily say that anything Orange Man says is brain rot. So then should that be banned? You know, if you say that, you know, ooh, can I get myself in trouble? If you say that biological males don't need tampons, is that brain rot? I'm sure if you were to ask a blue hair, they'd say yes. So you need, basically everybody needs to be able to say what they want to say, because if they can't, then the stuff that you think is truth will be considered fake news or whatever. It's just one of those things. What we consider bad, other people don't. What we consider good, other people don't. And you need to have the right to say what you want to say. It won't stop at the people you dislike. That's the main thing. That's why these red pill brainlets annoy me. Because they really hate the lamins. They don't realize that a lot of this crap they want will actually start to apply to them at some point. I don't know if TikTok was going to be banned because of that. I think it was mainly just, I don't really know why TikTok was going to be banned. I think maybe the China element. I don't really know. I've not played Unreal Tournament 2004 in ages, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. I haven't played Unreal Tournament 2004 since I think, almost said 2004, but no, since like 2014. The bots in this are pretty good though. I mean, they just completely won that game while I kept dying, and I'm gonna die right now. Nope, I magically survived. What class am I? Okay, I should be a... That MCP must be pretty powerful to face like 2 turrets and not immediately explode. I could just shoot this with my rifle, and I did. That should not have worked. And Unreal Tournament, I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about that in ages. Yeah. There's 3 turrets there. What assholes. And yeah, that map is pretty good. Yeah, I didn't grow up with Unreal Tournament. I don't think I even knew it existed back then. I actually got some comments like, how do you not know that existed? It was in all the game magazines. Yeah, that implies I actually read any of those gaming magazines, which I didn't, because there was no money to do it. Wait, splash damage did Brink? Man, I did not remember that. Brink was one of those, I think it was a team-based multiplayer-only game. Yeah, I think, Unreal Tournament is now freeware, as in like you can get it on like My Abandonware because it got delisted. I did not play any of those Unreal Tournament games until like 2013, or any of the Serious Sam games for that matter. Like, I don't think I ever knew Serious Sam was even a thing that existed. It's always funny to talk to people who did not grow up with Quake. It's like, yeah, I never played Quake. I played Unreal Tournament. It's like, but my Quake. Never played Red Faction multiplayer, but I did play it single player, and it was pretty good. It was originally supposed to be a Descent game, and then it got turned into an FPS for whatever reason. The Angry German Kid. I'm aware of the name, but I don't think so. I think it was like, if I'm not mistaken, the Angry German Kid was the guy shouting in German, like smashing a keyboard, and it became like a proto-Hitler rant thing. Oh no, I said the H word. The proto-Hitler. There we go. I'll never forget, there was a fanfic for 40K where they compared Cheeto Man to Addy, but they called him Hutler. I'm like, really? Really, people? You're gonna compare Cheeto Man to that? Come on, people. Is that really an assault ramp? That's more like a bridge, but whatever. Okay, what are we trying to do? I blame the chat for me not paying attention. Oh yeah, we gotta hack the shield generator. Okay, before they kill me, I need to swap to Spec Ops. Spec Ops the line.
Lead the way.
I never knew why that angry German kid was so pissed off. Okay, got blasted on real. Quake happens after Taco Bell. Oh my. Gorilla demo as a kid. Oh yeah, Red Faction Gorilla, I need to review that one day. That's a really good open world game. And yeah, you can like smash buildings like you're fucking Thor. Yeah, it's sad we don't get stuff like that. Instead we get woke Saints Row. Woke Row. It's really sad because Saints Row is all about being irreverent. I like a couple Slav jank games, but I can't think of any off the top of my head at the moment. Really, Private Ricks, you're just gonna drop right in front of me? Okay, come on, do it, do it, do it. We gotta hack. We're gonna get their password from their OnlyFans. I hacked it just before I got killed. That sounds about like real life there. The only multiplayer games I played a lot of was a bunch of RTSs and that classic Modern Warfare 3, the original Modern Warfare 3. See, imagine if this was an actual game where there's some story going on, where like you could talk to these characters. I'm just saying, like it just seems to me like this could have really been a real game here. Run them down instead of just multiplayer bullshit. But if people still play it, whatever. F key flies off there. Makes sense. Rebel General statues. Well, here's the thing, Cyrus. The reason why those statues were originally erected, Brazil jank. I know there's a third-person shooter that's Spain jank, but I've never actually played it. I can't remember what it's called now. But there's a third-person shooter that came out in like 2013 that actually doesn't look too bad. But it was developed in Spain of all places. But the Confederate statues. So you got to remember, the Civil War might be old for us, but it wasn't old for the people who fought in it. And so there was an attempt that mostly succeeded to bring both North and South together. And you do that by honoring the leaders of the South, because you still have to share the same country with people in the South. And so the reason why there were statues of Confederate generals is to honor them and their sacrifice. So, you know, there can be reconciliation between North and South. When you start demolishing them, especially in the way they were demolished, it's where it's sort of a cultural imperialism sort of thing. Just because they did stuff that people didn't like today, if you're trying to share the same country with somebody, you can't say, you're evil and terrible and therefore you deserve everything that happened to you. It doesn't really, you don't really have a reconciliation with that. You have a lot of hatred and resentment and stuff like that. It's something that has been forgotten in the last 150 years. You know, and you can't really compare the southern United States to the Natsocks because the North also, you know, had people enslaved, and the North also committed a lot of war crimes as well. There isn't a good guy side in the Civil War. Not in the way that we see it today. Really, bot? Really? I was gonna do something? Because, you know, you had Northern soldiers, you know, shooting innocent people and all sorts of stuff like that. Well, and the thing is, though, like, Confederates different, though. Like, you have to consider that they were still Americans. You know, they still shared many of the same cultural values as the North. And also, let's not forget that a lot of Northern generals also committed a lot of atrocities as well. The thing is, when you start saying that, like, oh, because it's a Southern general, we got to destroy the statue. The thing is, it didn't matter in the end anyway, because they toppled a statue of Abe Lincoln. So it wasn't. It was never about Confederate statues. It was about any statue, really. So you had Abe Lincoln get his statue toppled. You had Theodore Roosevelt, fucking Theodore Roosevelt. Like, what do they hate him for? They had his statue removed. It wasn't toppled, but it was removed. You know, it didn't matter who it was. The thing is, every historical figure is going to have something wrong with them. Yeah, and that's just the way it is. Oh crap! Yep, I heard that mine. But still, you can't compare every historical figure to the Nat Sox. It's very different. And so, you know, because like then you might be like, oh, we need to demolish the statue of Sam Houston. I remember when they were talking about that. There, people showed up there, like, were camping around it too. So, the fact is, every historical figure is going to have something wrong with them. You know, only recently do we have the freedom, just to have food, to really determine like what is actually moral or not. You know, like when you don't know if you're going to survive the winter, you don't really care about a lot of the social niceties, which I think is something that we often don't really appreciate. I mean, it's wintertime right now and it's fucking cold, but you know what? You just turn the heater on. For most of human history, most people just died. They just froze to death or starved to death. Just something to think about, you know. And the Confederate... Well, that's the thing. Trail of Tears was definitely a major atrocity, yes. But at the same time, we have to remember that there was a lot of back and forth on both sides during the Indian Wars. And that's not saying that, you know, we should be A-okay with that, but we should also remember that a lot of these presidential people are going to have some kind of atrocity on their hands at that time. I mean, just consider FDR. You know, I'm not, once again, not trying to deny Andrew Jackson's issues, but just think about FDR. That was within living memory, where he locked up American citizens by the tens of thousands. Southern General's uniform. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Well, I might be wearing a Thrawn uniform, though. But look, once you start saying, like, oh, this president's bad and we should hate him, that president's bad, then you can be like, oh, okay, we might as well just demolish all the statues between, you know, 1791 and today, you know, because somebody's always going to have a problem with it. But yes, Trail of Tears is bad. We're not going to deny that. But should we also, should we forget all the other good, should we forget the good things that Andy Jackson actually did do? But that is one of the more shameful elements of early American history. But even people at the time knew it was bad too, so there's that. Enemy mine spotted. At least the United States is not nearly as blood-soaked as the Urips. Sorry, European fans, but, well, I would just remind you that, you know, there hasn't been a big massacre in the U.S. Since the 90s. So, there's that. And even then, you know, we didn't really have, like, camps for people to concentrate. Although we did have some in the 40s, but most of the people there survived. Thank you, President Roosevelt, the bad one. Oh, God. For most people, North and South is one of those things that nobody really cares anymore. The time has passed. You know, the Civil War was almost 200 years ago, or getting up to that point. Did I just get blown up again? I would have blamed the chat. Oh, poor Christopher Columbus, man. You know, it's like a lot of the national myths are based upon stuff that isn't really true, you know, and yet do you get rid of all your heroes? It's like you can acknowledge the flaws in somebody from the past. Oh, crap! Without just completely destroying your own history. And once again, these people still love, you know, like Chairman Mao. I remember there was a government person around the time this game was released that was like, one of my great heroes is Chairman Mao. It's like, that does not instill me with confidence. Andrew Jackson fought a central bank. That was one of the big things. And I think he got rid of federal, not peonage, not personage. Oh, what the hell is the word I'm thinking of? Federal favors for like friends and family and things of that nature. I'm trying to remember what he did do. I haven't thought about Andy Jackson in a long time. And I'm doing a stream. I've been put on the spot. At least I'm not Destiny. But, oh crap. No, that was Zeus. So, that's the thing. Any like bad American president is going to be not nearly as bad. Not going to be nearly as bad as a lot of these dictators from the 20th century. Like, if you thought Andy Jackson was bad, just look at Pol Pot. That's the thing about early American history, is like we can complain about a lot of the bad stuff that went on, but none of that was like systematic of, okay, we're going to destroy these people here, here, and here because of ideological reasons. You know, it's not the same thing as like the Soviets, you know, oh crap. Oh crap. Come on, blast him. You know, Major Payne, could you turn around and shoot him? Ugh, people are stupid. And yes, I could agree with that. I forget which president got the White House burnt down. By the Canadians! Crap, no! Killed by a shady character. Oh my. Yep, AK and AR-15 derivatives. It wouldn't stop at that. I mean, just look at Canada. They did ban AR-15s, so they did go to different types of guns, and they still got banned. Ah, the deaths of Stalin. Yeah, I actually saw that a long time ago. It was pretty good. It had that guy, whose name I can't remember, as Zhukov, and he was great in it. That British guy, you know, he's like the famous British guy. That's the problem with trying to remember actors' names. Oh, crap, 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 crap. All those people getting executed. Yeah, that actually did happen. Speaking of, like, crazy people like that, there's another book that I'm also reading. I like to read multiple books, just depending on, like, what I'm doing. If I'm at work, I'll listen to a different book than when I'm, like, at home. And I'm reading a book now where it's, like, also set in the future. Also by Christopher Nuttall. Because he writes a lot of books. That man is a machine. Anyway, it's a book where, like, there's this corporate government where everything you do is watched. Even like when you're fucking taking a crap, they're watching you for any signs of disloyalty. Well, the Space Marines are trying to take them down. And man, can you imagine being watched 24/7? On a French comic. So but yeah, it's the more freedom we can get, the better. Did I just die again? It's like maximal human liberty is always a good idea, because whenever you lose a right, they're just going to keep taking more and more. Yep, that's going to get blown up before I can even consider getting back there. Maybe not. Yay, we won. Even though the computer is smart enough to complete objectives. Like, it is smart enough to do these things. But these are really cool levels. If only they had, like, you know, real gameplay instead of just multiplayer crap. AR-15 is popular because it is good. It is easy to maintain. It is easy to shoot. It is lightweight. It shoots a common caliber. It basically can do pretty much anything you'd ever want it to. That's what... Whenever something is as popular as that, it does have the special sauce. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised they're still calling him. I would hate to work for Amazon. I mean, the job I have now, which I'm gonna be trying to get a new one soon. Not because it's bad, but because I'd like money. Is bad enough, but Amazon? Yeesh. One of my friends actually worked there, and man, it sounds like it is the absolute worst thing imaginable. It does sound like that company in the book. It's one thing, I'm glad that we got rid of the whole idea of the company town, where you gotta live where you work. And you get paid in, like, company money that can't be used for anything else. The AR became financially viable. Oh, thank you, Triple X Medic. And watch out for snow. That's the other problem with living up north is, lots and lots of snow. I think Triple X Medic the other day mentioned that they had, like, a big snow back in 08 that dropped 6 feet. 6 fucking feet! But the AR became financially viable in the early 2000s after the assault weapons ban expired. Everybody wanted one, and it was just the economy of scale. And then you had companies like PSA start manufacturing them for really, really cheap because of how they structured their company. And so now the AR-15 is the most viable firearm on the market, really. Used to be an AR-15 would be $800–900. Now it's $400. If you get it on sale, $300, and they're actually good guns. I mean, that's why SKSs were so popular. Is you could get an SKS for $75 or $140, something like that, and then you could buy a modern day stock for like $80. You know. Oh yeah, he did do that where you couldn't get the barrels in, and so they became a lot more expensive. So, the AR-15, to a certain extent, is a much more viable gun than the AK, just because there's more 223 on the market. And the 223 is a much more aerodynamic cartridge, so it can be shot further, more accurately. But, yeah, recently, ladies and gentlemen, we had a blizzard in Texas. I'm not sure if any of y'all saw that on your local newses, because I know it was a worldwide thing. It's like, Texas has snow? And everybody went nuts because there was going to be 6 inches of snow, and we like shut down the city for a couple days because there were 6 inches of snow. I mean, it didn't bother me any because, well, I work from home, so it doesn't really matter because I'm not trying to drive anywhere. But yeah, it was that cold, and we actually did get a load of snow, and you know, we built like a snowman that was like 3 inches tall. But hey, whatever. It was. As that blizzard was approaching, like it was like the apocalypse was on us, you know. It's like, oh my god, it's gonna be snowing, man, we're all screwed. And then like 2 days later, it's, you know, like 70 degrees outside. So it's Texas, it's how it goes. And yeah, the AWB did absolutely fuck and all, but hey, you know what, it made people feel good about themselves. You can no longer have the thing that goes up, according to some geriatric people. And yeah, well, the thing is, parts of the Sahara got snow. Oh my god, man, it's climate change. We gotta like switch to like the bugs, man. But yeah, anytime somebody waiting for first flake to drop. I mean, I didn't see snow all that much growing up. I remember seeing snow like once when I was 5 years old, and then like 20 years later I saw some more. I remember there was like the polar vortex of 2014. It was just horribly cold, and that was it. That was all. It's kind of lame, really. But I think I'd rather not have snow, because that sounds really, really inconvenient. Like, you gotta dig your car out and then go to work. At least here, like, if your like windscreen ices up, all you gotta do is just spray it with a can of shit and move on, you know? Not a can of literal fecal matter, but there's some kind of chemical thing you can spray down ice with and it melts. It's really useful. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how, like, the blue hairs used to be all against the government. Now they're all pro everything government control, because they didn't really know what they were talking about to begin with. Everyone was panicking. Took a hurricane to the face. Yeah. Ugh. Cold rain and mud. Yeesh. That's not fun. The black snow. I wonder if that's going to be considered offensive at some point. I remember back around 2008, there was a card. Is it one of those talking cards? You know, like a greeting card or a card for like Christmas or something. It said black hole. Because like I forget what the card was supposed to be about. They said that was the Rossicisms because someone misheard it. That's how crazy that wokeness got. It's like they're complaining about probably not $5, probably like a $10 card at Walmart talking about, you know, like a black hole. People have gone nuts. And Mr. T, you know, hilarious Mr. T got canned because they were offended by a commercial he did where he shot Snickers at people. Well, I mean, mass unaliving's happening. That's not surprising just because the world is insane. And, you know, there are usually warning signs, yeah, but most of the people that actually do it, just do it. Really, loser? You hacked this, you stole my kill. It's just like if people do it, they're just gonna do it, and you won't even have any kind of warning. Thankfully, I've only had one person I know blast themselves, and that was it. Only one person blamed themselves. Evidently, it's much more common these days, unfortunately. Because once again, people are going nuts. Mainly social media accelerates a lot of that stuff. Let's see, West Virginia. West Virginia! 0 degrees. Oh. Come on, go! Haha! I love the fact that you can do that, but there's really almost no reason to do it. See, like, imagine if this was a real game and, like, you had to, like, thread the needle and, like, there was an objective to complete over here. Alas, there is not. All you can do is fly around and get blasted. There's an AI Ozzy Osbourne song. There's an AI version of Black Hole Sun with, like, Ozzy Osbourne singing it. It sounds alright. I mean, it doesn't really get the high notes right, but it sounds not too terrible. Throws out the Sasquatches. Oh my. Yeah, this is back when they were still experimenting. The thing about the early 2000s is they had the technology to make actual games. This game still has a little bit of stuff to it. I mean, this mission is pretty neat, but it's just there's nothing here because it's, you know, a multiplayer mission here. At least we get the option to actually play it without bots. Because there's so many multiplayer only games where you don't get bots. Because you're just supposed to be excited for next product. You're not supposed to go back and play a game from 2007. But yeah, the early 2000s, they had the technology and they still had the freedom to make stuff. CNC Renegade's a little different. Because I think it actually does have a story. It actually has a book that I should really do a video on at some point. Really, I got blasted that fast. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's go ahead and fix the MCP. Because the bots are clearly too dumb to do it. But yeah, CNC Renegade's a little different than this. But I've not played it since 2011. The book, though, from what I remember, is insane. Like, the main character of CNC Renegade, like, goes from a boot camp washout to, like, a first sergeant in, like, one day. And it's just this wild, wacky, poorly written nonsense. When you think the Doom novels are bad, pfft, they actually had some talent behind them. Just throw a grenade. It'll totally take out a tank. There's a couple Gears of War books written by Karen Travis. They're not that great, though. I think she went crazy at some point, and her writing quality really dropped off. I tried to read some of her non-franchise fiction. It was not very good. A lot of these writers, when they try to do non-franchise stuff, they just don't. It's just not. It's not great. Like Timothy Zahn, some of his stuff isn't great. Like Cobra, which is okay. Cobra is boring. Cobra is basically about a a bunch of former super soldiers trying to adjust to life, you know, in civilian life. And that sounds great, in theory. Because it's like, oh, he's telling the story about the real stuff. It's like, okay, that sounds true. But the problem is, it's not entertaining to read. Because the characters are boring. I don't think she went woke, I just think she went nuts. There's a difference. Because, like, with, like, Halo, she wrote some Halo stuff. And basically turned, like, Dr. Halsey into, like, some sort of villain. Everybody hates Dr. Halsey. Dr. Halsey's the woman who created the Spartans. She's basically Master Chief's, like, mother, essentially. And so they turned her to, like, kind of a villain, and everybody hates her. And, like, is that woke? I'm not so sure. Gears of War, they complain about, like, the military-industrial complex, even though, you know, you've got genocidal aliens that want to kill everyone, so it doesn't really matter if you have a massive military-industrial complex, because if you don't have it, everybody dies. So just, I think, kind of nuts. Woke is different. Woke is where, like, Marcus Phoenix is a straight-white male, therefore he's bad. Nobody's doing that, so that's good at least. The Doom novels are still in print. You can get them. And they're not really modified or messed with in any way. Okay, there is the thing there. And there's a dude over here that wants to shoot me in the face. But I got him because his skill is too low. The Doom novels are still worth reading just because they're so weird and fun. Really? Blood up my goddamn mind. They're weird and fun. That's the main thing. That's the big selling point for the Doom novels. They're definitely not what you really would want from Doom, just because they don't have any demons or hell, but man, they're fun. And for some reason in the future we're going to use a 10mm subgun as our standard service rifle, because reasons, because why not, you know? I mean, the 10mm, it's great. I'm just surprised we never got a Duke Nukem book. We got 2 Shadow Warrior books, but no Duke Nukem. Yeah, but like, turning Dr. Halsey should, by rights, be like the greatest hero in human history, because if she doesn't make the Spartans, humanity dies, thanks to the Covenant. Like, without Master Chief, everybody's died. Everybody either gets turned into a flood or gets killed, you know? Yeah, Duke Nukem comics. Disney wants the EU novels in print because they're the only things that make money. We got a Duke Nukem movie. It's just called Fifth Element. Fifth Element will always be Duke Nukem the movie to me. I mean, come on, John McClane, even not John McClane. Bruce Willis even looks like Duke Nukem. And I mean, he does, you know, seduce a very young Mila Jovovich. I'll tell you something really weird. I had a friend once a number of years ago who loved those god-awful Resident Alice movies, despite being a massive Resident Evil fan. I didn't understand it. I don't get it. One Duke comic in 2011. Why would Duke go back to World War II? But I mean, I guess you had like the time travel Duke Nukems. I don't know. Nobody really knew what to do with Duke. It's like, okay, we're gonna have him like go back in time twice on the PlayStation 1. And yeah, people still play it. It's Orange Man! Orange Man watches my show. I feel very honored. This is still a good game. It could have been better though. It could have been better if it was actually a game and not just multiplayer. I mean, to a certain extent, if I wanted to be like pretentious, I'd be like, well, see, like, this gives you the experience of the average soldier fighting against the Strogue, but I kind of would have still preferred just an actual narrative-based FPS.
I'm in disguise.
I'm just saying, I really like my narratives. Okay, let's... A blood book? I don't know if blood really has enough story potential for that. Okay, you know, no one's gonna try to take that thing out. No one but me. Okay, it's disabled for 55 seconds. Let's go. Come on, idiots. Well, I didn't expect to do that, but whatever. Exactly. I mean, you're not wrong when you talk about a lot of the low subscribers, not just me, actually have much better content than these people who have big stuff. Because the bigger YouTube channels all kind of have to say the same shit over and over again. If you were to ever sit through, and I did watch a compilation of this, if you sit through like the talking heads on these huge million-plus subscriber channels, they literally all say the same shit. A Heretic Hexen comic could be good. What's interesting about Heretic and Hexen is in the instruction manuals, you get little novellas. Like Hexen 2, the instruction manual is a novella. It's awesome. Well, thank you. And what's interesting about, I was actually going to mention that, there's a channel that I watch called Based Politics. That it's very small, only like 30K subs. It's bigger than me, but whatever. And the commentator actually will call out both political parties if they do bad. I think they do a pretty good job. I think they do a good job. I don't agree with everything they say. They definitely are much more, a little too libertarian for my taste. Because they're definitely all about open borders, but other than that, they have some pretty good takes. And they're willing to call out D-Dub's indiscretions. Timey book might suit Heretic and Hexen. That would be good. Oh my god, yeah, Melanie Mac. I haven't watched any of the videos. I've just looked at some of the thumbnails. But yeah, Melanie Mac's one of those people that's like, oh, we can't have the naked women in the video games. And I think she might be feeling the burn of being a bit, shall we say, aged. She's actually older than me. She's like almost 40. And that's hard to do. I don't know. These people want clout. And so if they got to pander to a certain side, be it, you know, the anti-woke or the woke, you know, they'll say that. I'm sure Melanie Mac in real life is probably a halfway adequate human being. She'd probably like to play, you know, an attractive female. But still, though, 39 and dresses like she's still in high school. You know, you can be old and still dress, you know, youthfully. Yeah, no one says you... Actually, I don't know what a person in high school dressed like. Because when I was in high school, I dressed in collared shirts and slacks. Because I was a weirdo. I was really inspired by it. And I'm not joking. I'm not even exaggerating this. I was inspired by the stupid Ian Malcolm character in high school. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna wear, like, all black, man. Because I'm not like all those normies. And yet, I still was able to go to prom with an attractive girl that sadly could not speak English, but whatever. It worked well enough. She could speak English, but she was very recently immigrated from Vietnam. But cute, I will say that. There was a Quake 2 book where there was a Marine who survived the event of Quake 2 and is fighting. That'd be pretty cool. Well, suffering from PTSD, ooh, you could have like, you could do a lot with that, actually. You could totally do a lot with that. It's like you could have him where he has like some freakouts, where like he gets trapped in his own brain, or you could have like the Macron try to like mind screw him, and he's got to like figure out what's real and what's not. You can do a lot with that, actually. It'll never happen. See, that's the thing. Why don't modern books do stuff like that? That would be so awesome. You know, you have a Marine, you know, like fighting like evil space robots while fighting his own brain at the same time. So many books are just so goddamn generic, or they take forever. Even Larry Correia started doing that. He spent 5 books telling a story that could have been done in 3. There was a book called Son of the Black Sword about a basically fantasy Judge Dredd with a magic sword. And he has to kind of like overthrow this evil government, but it took him 5 books to tell that story, and by the end of book 3, it got really boring. Marvel UK. Yes, I've read a bit of it. I have checked out Target 2006, but I haven't actually read it. But I do have access to it. But yeah, the Marvel UK was written by Simon Furman, and it was apparently really good. Like, it was much more well written than a lot of the stuff in the US at the time. Is anybody gonna like fix this but me? Is no one's gonna drive this in, huh? Y'all are just gonna let it sit there. You know, bots, if you're gonna take over the world, you gotta do better than that. I'm just saying. Hunter's Moon mod. What if single player campaign? Okay, whenever I think about that, okay, let me do. I've seen a lot of stuff recommended to me, and I'm literally just gonna take a picture of it with my phone so I don't have to hunt through all these chat messages. But no, I have not played Hunter's Moon, but I am now. Horus Heresy Anthology. I've been looking for some 40k, or it's 30k, but whatever. Strong when you're on your own, they'd give you PTSD. I mean, probably. You'd have your head on a swivel. Halo, the novel, which I'm going to review in March, actually has something kind of like that. Master Chief doesn't actually start going nuts, but it does start to affect him because Halo... The actual, like, if you're an actual person going through the events of the first Halo, that is like a meat grinder. Like, that's non-stop combat the entire time for like 72 hours. Took the US book, 50 issues. I think also Simon Furman was the guy who came up with the Matrix. Well, they called it the Creation Matrix. And then, like, I know that Simon Furman really liked Galvatron, but he made him his own character and not just like rebuilt Megatron. And yeah, Halo was a pretty brutal universe. I mean, something like half of humanity died to the Covenant. My problem with Halo is we never got like a book that ended the initial trilogy. We got like Halo, a novelization for Halo 1. We got a sequel to that novel, and then nothing. There was sort of like a midquel between Halo 2 and 3, and then nothing. And then nothing. It's like, come on, people. What happened? Yeah, my first ever Transformers comic was Generation 2, where it got really hardcore because they didn't know if they were going to get canned anytime soon, so they like really went nuts with it. Yeah, that's a good question. Rebuilt Megatron or his own character? Both can work, and I don't know which one I like more. You know, I kind of like the idea of Megatron becoming like this even more evil kind of guy, but they never actually go hard with that. Because, like, Galvatron usually is just Megatron, but purple most of the time. Or it's like Megatron, but crazier. So, I don't know. We're now in, like, Antarctica. You go through the slip gate, and now you're in Antarctica, and we're trying to blow something up, but I just keep getting killed.
MCP disabled. Repair our MCP.
And yeah, the Gundam is way more brutal. They see the fancy-ass robot, but they don't know, like... There's a lot of people that die. I tried reading the Gundam book. It got translated. It was something. It wasn't. Yeah, I didn't finish it. I DNF'd that because it got so boring. It's just translating from Japanese to English is not an easy thing to do. And it just was so dry and dull. I couldn't do it. There's a number of like Japanese novels I'd like to read. Like, there's a Power Rangers one that I've read about, but it's never been translated into English, where evidently, like, they get rid of the Zord battles, and it's just all on, like, the ground. And there's also apparently a bunch of hardcore sex scenes, which I kind of want to read just for the novelty. It's like, wait a minute, hardcore sex in a Power Rangers? Oh, dear. Now, see, that's a good idea. Like, Galvatron is just Megatron turned for lava brain damage. Lava on the brain. Pretty much. Although going from Leonard Nimoy to his original voice actor is a bit jarring. Okay, now we got that. Okay, we should be able to get a tank over here, and we should be able to get that stupid... Oh, crap! You know, bots, could you, like, start blowing up these turrets or something? Let's see... chest of a suit gets crushed with a giant grip. Gets crushed to death. Yeesh. And yep, Triple X Medic. Although if you look out the window, you might think that you're in the game, because we're stuck in Antarctica. And I keep getting blasted by assholes. Yeah, the Gundam combat. I've watched a lot of Gundam 79. That's the only one I've seen. No, I haven't. I've seen Gundam Wing. I don't know how I forgot about that. Yeah, Gundam Wing. And also Gundam 08. Man, I haven't thought about those in a long time. Gundam Wing. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, Gundam Wing, that was much harder core than Gundam 79, because in Gundam Wing, there's this guy called Death Scythe Hell. He's the American Gundam pilot, and it's literally this giant, like, black Gundam with a plasma scythe. He literally cuts an aircraft carrier in half, and in that one attack, he's just killed 5,000 people. It's fucking crazy. I'm so glad we don't have snow, Triple X Medic, because, my god, I'd have to shovel out my car. But yeah, the Death Scythe, hell, I haven't thought about that in so long. And then Gundam 08 is basically just Vietnam, but with robots. God damn, these guys are hard. And not in a good way. So is anybody gonna, like, fix that MCP, or am I just gonna have to keep trying to get over there and keep getting killed? Sometimes the friendly bots are good, and sometimes they are crappy. But man, I hadn't thought about Gundam Wing in so long. Now, I did not actually watch that on Toonami back in the early 2000s. It was actually a friend of mine who introduced me to that, because he had grown up with it and was a big fan of it. And I got shot in the back again. Okay, we need like a tank. Now, a tank's not going to do any good because it's just going to get blown up. See, if we could do combined arms, which we can't, we'd have somebody like just do some indirect fire on those turrets with a tank. But, well, the bots are smart, but they're not that smart. No, there's a tank, but he's not going to be smart enough to do it. It's a Gundam, that talking head. Ugh. He might. It's a Gundam. Might as well be a clone of Yellow. When I think about how much money Yellow Flash must make just reading articles, it's like, how dare you? Oh yeah, watch Transformers 1. It is absolutely excellent. Like I like that movie a lot. That's my favorite movie of 2024. Watch the whole movie. It's really good. I'm surprised a movie like that even got made, because it shows what happens when the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And you know, Megatron started out with like, yeah, we need to like, Megatron, I think it's one of those instances where he wanted to like free the people so they could be free to follow him. Gundam Sakib. Where authoritarian, it's on orbital elevator. Damn. Yeah, there's a book like that I read once. That reminds me of another book too, called The Empire's Fall, where basically imagine what... This is also by Christopher Nuttall. It's where you've got like Earth in the distant future, but instead of like an authoritarian future, it's like authoritarian like woke. And basically they have a crisis of competency. Oh dear. And well, their orbital space elevator crashes into the planet and starts off a chain reaction where the Empire completely falls. Victory Gundam, the villain faction was the Empire of Militant Feminists. Oh my. Militant Feminists. Where the hell Michigan is paved in asphalt? But is it good asphalt? That's the question. Made by the Good Intentions Asphalt Company.
Congratulations on your promotion, Stats.
I don't think that works that way, game. I don't think if you became a staff sergeant, there'd be a lot of politicking involved. They don't tell me to move, really, and I got vaporized by a tank. I remember this being hard the last time I played it. Ugh. Winning spiritual younger sibling, the focus plot and well-written characters. I just never really sit around and watch things these days. Nothing in Michigan is good attention. You know, the only reason I really ever thought about Michigan was that's a different state. Huh, I don't know why I know about Michigan. Is that where Home Improvement was set? I know there was some show I watched all the time as a kid that was set in Michigan. That's the problem with the Decepticons in general, is that they had a point and then they all act like evil assholes. It's like, it would have made more sense if they acted like good sometimes, bad sometimes. Weirdly enough, the Blue Jet, aka Thundercracker, is actually the nicest of all the Decepticons. Like, he's like an actual good guy, or good robot, in the ID-Dub continuity. And actually helps out Bumblebee when Bumblebee becomes kind of like a Prime, kind of. But like, he's the only good one. Believe me, Grenade didn't leave my brain for a long time. Yeah, there's gonna be some Transformers content coming out later this year. I think in April? April, May, I can't remember. I have it scheduled. I'm gonna review the war. Oh god, no. I saw the lights flicker. Please don't go out. I hate when the goddamn power goes out. All this aging infrastructure. Yeah, I can review the War for Cybertron game, the Transformers Armada game. Just died again. Do more than the evil. Yep, Dinobot and Armada Starscream. Armada Starscream is one of my favorite characters. But I'm also going to do just like a Transformers media overview. I thought like I would do a comic review, but it's like there's so much. I need to just cover like everything. It won't be as big a detail as I would like it to be, but like talk about some of the important shows, some of the important comics, that sort of thing. Because there's a lot of Transformers media. Like, my god. There is a bunch of it. Oh, come on. Can we do it? Can we build it? As soon as it gets rebuilt, that's... Go! 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 I got like 2... We could probably do this. Okay, go. No, don't get in the... Don't get in the gunner seat, you idiot. Oh, there must have been a bot in there. Go! 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 We're just gonna inch our way there. The kid from home... Which kid from Home Improvement? There were 3 of them. Damn it. We were so close. So close. Transformers Prime was another not good Decepticon, but at least he was an honorable warrior. I remember him. He got captured by like those cyborg dudes, I think, and they were trying to like cut him open. And Prime was like, we can't just let him be cut to pieces. The oldest one. Yeah, I don't think he was doing too well. I remember like in an interview he had on like this leather shirt thing. He looked like a male stripper. I guess he did not invest his money well. At least he didn't get vaporized by a tank. I know that Jonathan Taylor Thomas, he did pretty well with his life. I think he's a lawyer now. I don't know what happened to the youngest one. Like in the youngest one in Home Improvement was supposed to be like the weirdo. He was like the emo kid. They kind of did that in one of the Transformers books in the Aligned continuity. And it's very easy for people to think they're the good guys, but not actually be the good guys. It's like, look at the blue hairs. They think they're trying to be... They think that they're good for the peoples, even though they don't really care. That's why they like socialisms. They think that's going to help the poor. And yeah, Tim Allen was he liked the hunter powder. It's kind of crazy to think that Tim Allen went from that to still being relevant today. Tim Allen has a show called Changing Gears or Shifting Gears, I forget which, where he's like his daughter comes back after like 20 years or something, and she has like kids and he's got to deal with it. The daughter is of course played by an actress whose name I can't remember at the moment. Cat Williams, there we go. I hate the fact that I know that because she was in a show that I can't stand called Two Broke Girls. My God, every time that's played in like a restaurant or something, it's just the most shitty show I can't even imagine. I hate sitcoms, and that's got to be the worst. The clash, that angle slash function and stuff. The problem with like Transformers is they don't know what to do with them. If you have Transformers that are built, how could there ever be a weaker Transformer? Shouldn't they all be built to the same strength capability? Wouldn't that make sense? So they don't really, the writers don't really know how to create like a class-based society with Transformers. Just because, like, how do you even have that? Because couldn't they all be built to the same specifications? Or at least, shouldn't they be? So yeah, that's one of those things I do get, you know.
Congratulations on your promotion, Master Sergeant.
I don't think that's how that works, game. Get out of the fucking driver. I'm gonna die because there's two of them and they're just gonna vaporize me. The Transformers 1 did a good enough job explaining like why there was even a class system to begin with Transformer Society. You know, like the ones that don't have the Transformers cog versus the ones that do. That's the only way that works. It's like, how does a Transformer get rich or poor? All you need is energy. Which I guess you could kind of do that, but like, it's weird. It's hard to write characters that are immortal and can't get sick. Yeah, exactly. Why would they ever fight alone? I was like, Iron Man 3 was kind of stupid because, like, where's Thor? Why isn't he helping? I mean, there's always got to be some reason, like, oh, he's sick, or he's fighting in his own movie, or something, you know? They always got to come up with some kind of bullshit reason. It's kind of like Ahsoka. It's like, why wasn't she killed in the Jedi Purge? Well, she wasn't a Jedi. She was on the other side of the galaxy. She was playing with the space whales. The most annoying consumer, like... They've been shut up. I mean, really, Cyrus, that's probably the two biggest annoyances right there. I don't know who the most annoying one on the right is. I know the most annoying one on the left is Destiny. I think for me, well, that guy's also mentally ill. Not Destiny, but the one I'm thinking of, like, what if Alt Hist? I'd actually forgotten about him. That's the guy who got high on ayahuasca and thought he was talking to Thor. But yeah, like, he's one of the more annoying ones because he like comes out with videos that are complete schizo, saying that there's going to be an incel rebellion. I know people love Sargon, but I think Sargon's probably one of the more annoying ones as well. Yellow Grifter, I like that, but like, I think Sargon, would be the one I find the most annoying. I know people love him. I know they love Sargon. But I think he's the most annoying because he doesn't have that much to say, and he's super popular, and all his stuff is just the same generic slop you get all the time. Oh, Destiny's going to jail. Yeah, because I watched a video on that. Matt Walsh is interesting. Most of the stuff he says is slop, but sometimes he can actually have a halfway adequate point. That's the sad part, though. It's like the right wing became as bad as the left wing over the last 4 years. They became slop. They just say the same old shit over and over again. Even Stuttering Craig became slop. Where it used to be, he would talk about, you know, like video games that could also be vibrators. Yes, that's a thing. There's a video game called Rez. This is a video I remember watching back in 2007. Rez is a game where, like, it comes with a vibrator. And like the better you do in the game, the more vibration it does. You cannot talk about that today, that's for sure. Come on, do it, do it, do it. Come on. Ah, damn it. Until Apocalypse. Hunter Avalone? That name looks familiar. Matt Walsh annoys me in other ways, though, because he's the guy who was like, oh, yeah, you can't play with toys as an adult. It's like, motherfucker, I'll play with whatever I want. Ebon Hawk, you know, fucking, I could grab that Lego, but I do not want to drop it and watch it smash into 1,000 pieces. And if he thinks like playing with toys is bad, what happens when you dress up as Batman? What happens when you spend a ridiculous amount of money to dress up as Batman? That's one problem with Daily Wire is, yeah, they do say a lot of stupid stuff like that. Jesse, oh my God, they found the mines. We had stereo enemy mine spotted. But yeah, D-Dub is bad about that. Jesse Waters, one of those Fox News contributor. No, he had a show on Fox News now. He said some stupid shit recently too. I saw a video on that where he's like, what kind of husband goes to the store with his wife? I'm like, dude, all of them? I do not recognize Milo Yiannopoulos. Benny Boy is like a failed, oh my God, we got like a squad of 3 riflemen actually moving together. The bots actually knew what they were doing.
Congratulations on your promotion, First Sergeant.
When you think of all the politics that goes into being a first sergeant, and all we've done is just kind of wander around and get killed. But yeah, Jesse Waters actually is, oh yeah, the, what kind of man goes to the grocery store with his wife? I'm like, my grandfather did that for like 60 years. Oh dear. So, yeah. Yeah, Ben Shapiro will eventually, hopefully, maybe one day become irrelevant. Maybe, hopefully. I'd like to see all those slop people become less relevant over time. Because, seriously, who watches these people and thinks that they're actually adding anything to the conversation, you know? I think, like, the tough guy uses GF as a bullet shield. Wow, brilliant. I mean, I already saw, like, the, let's see, Triple X Medic, you're the real man here. Bragged about not knowing how to do household chores. Wow, that's bullshit. It's like, Gramps, he was always doing it. I mean, there was a time when I was married and I would, you know, wash clothes. Oh my God! Going on about Brett Cooper leaving the Daily Wire. Yeah, exactly. I've seen once again, I'm not watching the videos on this. I'm just looking at the thumbnails. My God, Jeremy from the Quartering is eating good tonight because so many videos on that. It's like, who cares? I didn't even care about a Brett Cooper to begin with. Oh, and her stuff was slop too, like the worst slop. The thing is, like, this whole like trad movement is dumb. It's dumb because it's trad based upon like fucking commercials and shit, you know. Hey, laundry's easy. You just throw the shit in the fucking washing machine. How hard is that? Now, cooking, on the other hand, I don't mind cooking, but there's so much that you have to do right to actually make it turn out good. You know, Brett Cooper is hot, I will say that. Although she does look a little bit too much like Ben Shapiro. But no, like cooking, that's the hard part. I mean, I can do it and have done it, but getting everything right, at least with washing clothes, that is so easy. You just dump the shit in the washing machine, you pour soap on top of it, you know. Oh, Razorfist is bad. Well, his stuff was slop, but I'd hate to see him. What is with the grooming, though? It's like, my God. Can't you people get a date for real? If even I can get a date. Deli style chicken, there's a lot of steps to it. Chill overnight. Well, with cooking, you have to, like, season it right. You gotta time it right. And I've done it. And I have cooked for females before, and they all liked it, but man, that's hard. Yeah, he no longer says God fucking speed, he just says Godspeed. Years, still do laundry, cook, and hunt my own food from Walmart. I was actually married at one point myself, and I helped out with everything. It's actually kind of funny. If you're with somebody you really like, which I was, but unfortunately, you know, shit happens and relationships can end, you want to spend time with that person. So you'd want to go to the grocery store, or I always helped with cooking, because I wanted to hurry up and get that shit out of the way so she and I could go do something, you know, fun, be it clothed or non. Like, I would wash clothes, because it's not hard. Once again, you just dump the shit in the thing. More just a dumbass and bad BFR. I've heard the whole religious thing is more due to his... Oh. For the election and vote. Actually makes me get out and vote. Not bad. Yeah, apparently the addiction to the sexy times is something that does happen, I suppose. Although for me, it's like, eh. Razor Fist, I think, is probably not as bad as some of the others. And he does kind of talk about things in a way that other people don't. But a lot of his videos are slop, though. Okay, eventually I'm just gonna get... You know what, we're gonna go to another map real quick. Actually, no, we've gone 2 hours. Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead. We'll disconnect from the space server. Go ahead and call it a day real quick. I'll take a look at the last bit of chapters. Razor's comic and 2 books are all right. Prose heavy when he's describing stuff. I don't know, I hope he's not as bad as Ian Watson. I need to review an Ian Watson book at some point. The 2016 election, we talked the audience out of character. The problem with, like, having an angry character is you gotta act that way all the time. That's why, for me, I'm just General Lotz, you know? Well, no, sexy time with an actual person is good. Just, you know, gooning, as they say, is boring. But gaming, yeah, that is pretty good, too. I mean, there was something to be said about that. But yeah, all that slop tube is really sad. I do recommend watching, if you want something that's not slop, Based Politics is pretty good. If you want something that's actually like old school content, I recommend Red Cow Arcade. I love those guys. They are hilarious. Watched a video when they were hating on Kickassia, and it was hilarious. You know? And yeah, I'm just me. I act like myself. Now, of course, I might exaggerate things a little bit, you know, because it is a video after all. But, you know, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I hate this fucking game. It's the piece of shit of all time. It's like, I'm not doing that, you know. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not, you know. And that's the thing about having a character like Doug Walker, you know. He's kept that bit for so long, and it's worked out for him. He's rich, you know. But that's got to get tiring after a while, you know. I'm just saying. It's kind of like the AVGN. I think AVGN should not have been AVGN. I think it should have been James Rolfe. I think he was much more enjoyable as just a nerdy guy who talked about video games. I think once he had to be the AVGN all the time, it just got old. And that's why it's still kind of boring. Me too, and I reviewed Halloween Ends. Such a grueling time. I've heard that Halloween Ends is pretty bad. I've seen that Halloween remake from like 2017. I thought it was all right. But yeah, making a trilogy out of that. Alright, I've been going on for 2 hours, 8 minutes. I'm going to head out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wish you good roller skating. Wish you good bowling. Whatever makes you happy. I'm glad y'all enjoyed ETQW. I think multiplayer might be better, but bots are good enough for me. Alright. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and please consider leaving a like or a comment, as the algorithm desires your soul. And I want to thank all those fans who have supported this channel, both past and present.